Let's start with the front page of the Mirror, Carey.
Strikes, everything strikes, the whole country's falling apart. Cold-hearted Tories putting lives at risk. This is Unite boss Sharon Graham, who's told the Mirror that Steve Barclay will carry the can for any deaths during the nurses' strike due to his refusal to open pay negotiations. So that's quite strong words there. On the other side of it, we have Oliver Dowden, who's the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, who has said the UK government will remain resolute, so nothing's going to happen there. So what we're getting is an impasse where we could really do with a bypass around this. And we're seeing lots of strikes going on because strikes do tend to happen at the same time. That you can't do one at a time because there's a diminishing returns. You know, if the first strike action gets what they want, then there's less money for the next group and so on. So you tend to see this all sort of clamour together and the whole country falls apart.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think there's probably different sympathies with different groups, and for me, it's like the train drivers who. There's the cleaners on the trains, you know, and I think they get very low wages.
Well, but they don't do a great job. I've never seen a train toilet that I'm like, wow, this has been cleaned amazingly well.
I have seen one.
Really?
I'm sure. Yeah, they're not tempting, are they? They're not. I mean,
I'm never like, well, I'm going to hold this on until I get to the train.
Let's be fair. Train toilets are used by people wobbling. You know, it's not. They're not going to be that wonderful. But on the other hand, the nurses, you know, the nurses clean up other people's. They take bedpans and they take so much abuse that I kind of feel so much more affection for their. You know, with train drivers, what are they? I think they should get paid more, maybe. You know, but at the same time, they're getting paid more than the national average.
Yeah.
And have you ever heard sat nav for train drivers? It just goes in half a mile, follow the track. In half a mile, keep following the track.
Yeah.
It's not difficult.
It's not the hardest job.
I know someone's going to write to me going, it's very, very difficult, Carey, you've got no idea.
Well,
but
they say...
I'm reckoning I could do it.
They say it's because you've got to deal with the trauma of running people over. But for some people, that would be a perk. You used to hire more sociopaths.
Yeah.
I mean, Francis, do you think the nurses are maybe, and the government are playing chicken with each other to see who bends first?
Well, this is it. I think what the Royal College of Nursing wants a 19% pay rise, which I do believe is unrealistic. The government have come out with, I think it's something like 4.9%. What we desperately need is for the government to sit down with the unions and for both sides to actually come together and wish there to be some kind of solution, because at the moment, all we're getting from both sides is empty rhetoric. And what happens when you have both sides unwilling to have a productive discussion is you have chaos for ordinary people. Well, not me, mate, because I'm a celebrity, but ordinary people out there.
I mean, wow.
What am I working with
I'd like to see how you classify celebrity. This is another Cambridge Dictionary reclassification of a word. But, I mean, I think the government, do you think there's some risk that the government's playing hardball because they know that it sort of damages Labour? Because Labour are obviously connected to the unions. They get a lot of funding from the unions. It makes Labour look bad if people, you know, if grannies start dying because of their nurses' strike.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think they should play them against each other, you know. Give the nurses 25% and then tell the train drivers, sorry, we gave it to the nurses. and fight it out.
Yeah. And maybe fire out some of the people in all these ridiculous non-jobs, like the quality, diversity and inclusion officers are on 100 grand. Why are they getting that money when that could go to nurses? Fire them, give it to the nurses. Anyway,